Alright, so now I know how to do it. We good to go. And there we go. We live, baby. Alright, yo, what's good, guys? Let us know if you guys can hear me or the other bros in here as well. But what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode, baby. We back,
Episode
man. We
three.
back. Episode 3. You know what I'm saying? We had some personal shit going on last week, so we gotta make it up to you guys. So yeah, man, we back with another episode. We got some good topics, man. A lot of game announcements have been happening. A lot of tech announcements on the PlayStation side have been happening. Um, so you already know it's your boy Paulo the Third. Back at you with some news. So if you guys want to introduce yourself, go ahead. If y'all want to do that, little introductions.
You know what, Dan? I'll let you take it away, man.
Yeah, it's Dan the man, the British man with the plan.
Let's
That's what I'm
go.
saying. It's been a few weeks, man, but we're back. We're back like the Rock's coming back to SmackDown. We're back in Raw. You know what I mean? We're back, man. So you know what? I'm glad to be back. Shit's been crazy on social media, as you guys see. Like, there's been a lot of news in the game industry. PlayStation's news has just been blowing up. Dude, news in general has been blowing up. So I'm glad to be back. Glad to hear Pablo's voice back here, and the next guy's voice, who hasn't introduced himself, but he is here.
What's good, guys? That guy Ken. Yeah, hell yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about today. I can't wait. A lot of information.
No, for sure. So yeah. So first things first, guys. We're gonna go through some of the game announcements. Ken, do you want to kind of talk about like what's coming up, in the next week or so, for games?
Yeah, I just wanted to, just touch on some of this stuff really quick, man, because we had some pretty cool announcements and releases this week. Like we had Crash Bandicoot just came out. I don't know if you guys have played it yet or if you guys have gotten it yet, but it's pretty dope. I like it. It looks nice. I mean, like graphically, it's like beautiful, So, I mean, for anybody who's interested in the Crash games or whatever, or just platformer games in general, like I would recommend it, obviously. It's a beautiful game. And we also had we actually had a release date for Scarlet Nexus.
Yeah.
Which, hell yeah. I don't know if you guys have peeped that one, but
Of course
that
it
game
does,
looks
man.
dope.
No, it does, man. It does. Well, what do you think about the just the presentation of the game, like just overall, Ken?
Scarlet Nexus?
Yeah. Yep.
Ken?
I love
Oh, you bought it, my guy. I think, yeah.
Oh no, man. Oh, it's cool. You know what I'm saying?
I think he was botting a bit.
Yeah, we lost your feedback there, bro. You went a bit robotic.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
went
Can you guys
cyberpunk on me.
Can you guys hear me better now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
All right, cool. Now I was saying about Scarlet Nexus, man. I'm pretty sure you guys have already seen the trailers or whatever, man. But I mean, it looks
Wow.
incredible. I mean, it really does. I mean, it looked incredible when I first saw it, like when they first announced it. And to me, it's starting to look like even better than what it was before. I mean, it's just hitting all the right notes for me, man. I mean, the gameplay, the art style, the story. Even the enemies and stuff like that, man. The actual design of the characters, it just looks crazy and wacky, man. I like it. It looks different, and that's what I like, man. I like to see things that kind of look a little bit different, maybe play a little bit different. So, and we got a release date for it, which is cool. It's looking like June 25th, 2021. June's gonna be a good month, man, because that's when Ratchet and Clank comes out. So,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we'll have Ratchet and Clank. What is it, June 11th?
Yeah.
Yep, and then Scarlet Nexus, June 25th. Hell yeah, man. It's going to be good, man. I think Nier comes out, too, around that time as well. Nier Replicant.
I thought,
I feel like...
Oh, it got pushed
I feel
back?
like... Did it?
Did it?
I thought it was
I don't
coming
remember
out in
it.
April. Let me check. Hold up.
It might have gotten pushed back. I don't know. But I know it's coming out, like, within the next, like, couple of months. So...
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, never mind. That was the original release date.
I feel like Returnal is gonna be like
Oh yeah, it's coming out April 23rd. Yeah.
after
April
Returnal
23rd.
gets released. There's just a plethora of games that just gonna start dropping,
Yeah,
which
man.
is nice.
That
If you know what I mean,
yeah, that's
it
like
just
an
feels good.
issue. Like I wasn't planning on talking about this, but like they gotta like start like kind of like some of the early months they gotta start like beefing it up a little bit like with games. It's like I hate having to wait until like June and then on for like all the big titles to release. Like they can squeeze in and like kind of flesh out some games like in the earlier months of the year. Like I mean that would be dope if they could do that, but I know game development isn't easy and shit, but that's just me. But yeah, so
I think
yeah,
some things kind of like might have changed around, because
yeah.
what you call it, GT was supposed to come out this year too. So maybe they had Ratchet and Clank scheduled for like
Oh, I think he's bot. I think he's botting.
You keep
Yeah.
you keep dipping in and out, Ken.
Yeah, Ken, you might want to try to
early
reset the connection maybe.
21.
Oh yeah. I don't think you realized.
But anyway, continue.
Yeah.
What was you saying, Pub?
So yeah, but yeah, basically just go back off of what he said. Let me pull up what else is on before we move on to the next topic. So basically let me just go over what was released recently. Yakuza like a Dragon, I know released. Well, I think it was on PS4, but they dropped like a PS5 version of it finally. That was
Yeah,
like
because Xbox had the exclusive on that, didn't they?
yeah, they had the exclusive on that for since launch actually since it launched. So that finally hit um
What's your thoughts on the Yakuza series? Are you a fan or you're not really into it?
I was actually playing cuz like I got the gamepad, which is a different thing, but I got it on the Xbox thing or whatever, Game Pass, and I like it. It's just like I feel like it just kind of like drags a bit, you know.
Yeah.
Let me answer that one.
What's up?
Dan, it's amazing.
No, no. I love
The
Yakuza.
Yakuza games are incredible, man. Like like when I first heard about Yakuza, um, I was like super skeptical about it, man, because when I saw the gameplay for it, I was just like, I don't know what, like this game looks weird. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, it just wasn't hitting for me when I first saw it. But then I remember there was a sale on PSN one time, and the game was like $5. So I was like, you know what, man, whatever, screw it. I'll pay the money, whatever, and play it. And I think it was Yakuza. I think it was 0 at the time, and that
Yeah.
ended up being, dude. It ended up being like one of the best $5 I've ever spent on a video game.
I'm done.
Yakuza 0 was my first one, and I was thinking this game. I always hear about the series. I dipped in, and it was fucking hilarious, man. Because there's just so many twists and turns. You just don't see it coming. It can be serious, then emotional, then wacky. Like it's great. And
It's so crazy.
if you're into like the Japanese like weird cringe comedy stuff, like it's perfect.
Dude, it's such a perfect mix, man, because it's like, when they first start the game, right? It starts off on a serious note for the most part. It's like a drama, whatever, you're watching a TV show or something, and you're like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Kind of thing, right? And it's like legit, like you're into it. You're like, yo, what's gonna happen? And then and then it does like this 180, you know what I'm saying, where everything goes from like super serious to like wacky as hell, you know? And then you're able to like go around the city and do a lot of crazy stuff, and it's just, you know how Japanese culture is, man. They have a lot of weird stuff in Japanese culture, and you could do a lot of it too. Like, I remember one time I was playing it, and like I went to a freaking like an online like dating thing or whatever. And I remember I posted it on my Twitter, and people were like, I remember people were like, yo, what the fuck are you posting this shit up here for? I'm like, yo, this is Yakuza, bro. Like, don't blame me, man. It's just a weird ass game, but it was good though. It's a good franchise, man. I enjoyed it. I enjoy it a lot personally.
Yeah, I like it, man. I think it's decent.
Hell yeah,
It's
man.
decent, man.
Yeah.
What was next on the release list, Pablo?
So yeah, let's see here. So yeah, we had the Yakuza. We got In Wonderland releasing in 5 days. Terrible. Don't buy it. I'm sorry, but that demo was awful. It was just like it felt so fucking generic. Like it was fun for a bit because like you can, like the whole pitch behind the game is that you can have like about 100 different customizations of like powers and stuff that you can use and shit. That plays differently on certain levels. So like that sounds appealing, but like once you see it into effect, the way it's executed, it just looks so like underproduced, like for like a platformer. Like if you go from Mario and play this, it's just gonna feel like shit. But yeah, that's coming up. We
It
have the
was a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, it really was. I don't know if you guys tried it out.
Yeah, I played the demo for it on my computer, and you would think like with a Square Enix game, you would expect like higher quality game, man. But it was just weird. I mean, it was weird. Like it wasn't weird like in a bad way. It was just it just wasn't good. I'm sorry, man. It wasn't that good. Like it just felt like a really low quality like indie. And I don't have anything against indie games, but it's like that was like a almost like a bad indie game. And I'm like, this shit came from Square Enix. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know. They
Yeah, that's
they've been kind of
crazy.
fucking up lately, but that's a whole different story. But yeah.
Just a
So
quick shout out to Devil Shooter in the chat.
Devil Shooter was
Thank you,
good, bro. Welcome, man.
thanks
Welcome, man. It's good to be
for dropping
back.
by.
But yeah, let me list off like some of the other bigger ones, and then we had the Crash Bandicoot, and then It Takes Two comes out this week as well. That game looks really interesting. I wouldn't mind playing that, honestly.
I haven't seen that.
I don't think I saw that one.
Me neither.
It's
It takes two.
it's made by the guys that made A Way Out. The guy
Oh,
that said
okay.
the
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
that said
Yeah, yeah.
fuck the Emmys or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's like the other big release. Everything else is like kind of low key. The rest of the shit. Oh, we got Doom 3 VR edition for my VR people. If anybody cares about that. But yeah, those are some of the big releases right there.
Yo, when is that supposed to be coming out?
The Doom.
Yeah.
I think this is coming out March 29th, so that'll be next week. I think Friday
Yeah,
maybe.
like next no, next no, it's not next week. I think it's the week after. I think it's the Monday afterwards or something like that. Because next Friday is 26.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like next week or something.
Have you guys tried out VR yet?
Yeah, I'll try. I actually have a VR headset right now. For my PC. I'm definitely a believer of it for sure. But I feel like this is not like a good way for me. I mean, this is the one I have right now. It's one of the older VR headsets. I forgot which one. It's like the Vive. Um, so it's not the most optimal way to experience VR. So like I was a believer in it because of the games I was playing. Like the horror games were like really really immersive. But I feel like I would need something like something with like less wiring. Something with a better resolution. Maybe the graphics could be a lot better. But in terms of like just pure immersion, VR is really fucking promising, man. Um,
So I guess speaking of VR, would be a perfect segue into the PSVR2 controllers. I
oh,
mean,
that's
what do you?
perfect
Getting ready
segue.
to be like,
Perfect.
wink, wink.
Yeah. So yeah. Basically, PlayStation they gave us our like first details on the new controller for the next gen VR, on PS5. So let me click the link right here. I'll go through it. First of all, wait. You guys can probably see the picture right here. Cause I'm sharing the screen. For
Let's have a
everyone
look.
in the chat. So yo, chat. Let me know what y'all think about this. Me personally, I like the way it has like that futuristic look to it. I like it. Whoa, what do you guys think? It looks
Yeah, I
comfortable
think it
too.
looks pretty dope. Do you know what? Someone who was it on Twitter? That nigga J Tech. He posted the controllers, and if you look at the controllers, they look like the old Sony Ericsson logo. Weirdly enough, if you do you know, have you seen that logo?
The Sony Ericsson.
The Sony
Yeah, like
Ericsson. Oh,
Mm,
if
oh,
you
I know what
type
you're
in
talking about. I seen it on Twitter. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
like the green and silver orb.
Yeah. No, I definitely know what you're talking about for sure.
Oh yeah. I saw that floating around on Twitter.
It
Yeah, the one
literally
with the green logo.
Mhm.
it's literally that. But no, I think it's pretty cool because I feel like I'm definitely a believer in VR. Um, I feel like the PSVR was just more of a proof of case of like, look, this is just it works. It exists. It's something we want to dip in. But I feel like it was always a half step with PlayStation because the fact that they went back to really old technology with the PS Move controllers, it was like you bring a new headset out and you're using these old controllers. It doesn't really make too much sense. So I feel like what they've done with the DualSense and now this, incorporating everything from the DualSense into these sort of controllers, I feel like this next headset will be definitely be more of a focus shift. And I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on it. To be honest with you,
Bro,
and dipping in.
I can't even tell you how much I'm looking forward to VR, man. Because I have the the whatever the first PSVR, and personally, I really like it. The only thing that I don't like about it is the fact that well, there are a couple things I don't like about it. The fact that it has so many wires. I don't like that shit, man. Especially when you're trying to play a game where you're trying to like spin around and do like that Iron Man VR game. I don't know if you guys like. I don't know, Pablo, if you tried that game out, but you have to spin around and do all this crazy shit. Like the wires and stuff like that doesn't work for games like that, man. So. But I mean, as far as like the actual technology itself, man, it's really cool, man. Like when I played Astro's, I was about to say Astro's Playroom, which amazing game by the way on the PS5. If you haven't played it, play it. Astro,
Astrobot.
yeah, hell
Also
yeah,
on Spotify now, the soundtrack.
yeah, bro. I've been listening to that soundtrack nonstop, man. No, but for real though, man, the VR is really cool. Like the original one that they had, they need to iron out some stuff with it, man. Like with the wires and the resolution. Like I don't know, like if it's the same with you, Pablo, but the resolution's like really blurry
Oh yeah,
on the PS.
I've actually tried the original PSVR. It was like the tech. It's like impressive. Like if like when you try like games like like the Doom VR game and like the Resident Evil 7 VR mode. Oh, like it's really impressive. But like the resolution really hampers like how long you can really play for, and
Yeah,
like
it kind of takes away from it.
yeah, it takes away from. I had to take it off after an hour, bro. Like, cause that shit was like
Facts.
I felt like I was getting dizzy. So hopefully they improve like as long as the resolution and the frame rate is like good there. I think they're really gonna get a lot out of it. Out of it, especially with it being specifically made for like PS5. It's gonna be like really interesting. If you guys don't mind, let me go through like some of the features because I pulled up the little link for it. But basically, some of the features they're gonna have on it, they're gonna have adaptive triggers, similar to what's found in the DualSense controller, haptic feedback, finger touch detection. And let me run through that because I don't know what that means. So basically, the controller can detect your fingers without any pressing in the areas where you place your thumb, index, or middle fingers. This enables you to make more natural gestures with your hands during gameplay. So that's pretty cool. Tracking action buttons and analog sticks. I love the placement of how they have the action buttons. Like it just looks like once you put your hands in there, it just look natural. It just feel like it just works.
It's
Sorry if
almost
I
like
have to
you're
quote my
stepping
boy.
into like a futuristic pod or something.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I know. Like it's really weird, man. It's really weird, but in a cool way.
Like one
You
of
know
those
what?
sci-fi movies where you put your hand into the ship and then you know what I'm saying, and then
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
activate the ship. Yeah, like it reminds me of something like that.
Devil Devil Shooter said something in the chat that I was thinking about the other day. I can definitely see Half-Life Alex being a launch title for VR2 because I feel like it'd be enough time separated from it being exclusive to Steam, and
Really?
I feel like it would just be perfect for Sony to get that as a launch title on VR2.
That would be cool. I wonder if Steam would or
I
Valve
think
would
they will.
be
I think
open
they
to that.
would.
Probably, I would think so. More than likely.
That'd be a good launch title. Yeah, they definitely gonna have to. I think the price is gonna have to be important on this too, because I think they were happy with how it kind of sold. You know, it kind of had like a niche, group of people that, that kind of got into
But
it. But
what's your thoughts on the price? Because I was thinking about this because like you said there, when VR first come out, it was a niche,
yeah,
so it was pretty expensive. But now VR is being more accepted, and there's so many other variants of VR that's not that expensive, and the tech's pretty incredible.
true.
I feel like they can't launch too high because there's competition out there now.
How much
The
was the
competition now.
original one? Was it 500 or 400?
No,
It
I
was like
think
the
it
same
was.
price as the PS4 when it first came
Yeah, I
out.
think it was like
What?
three
Oh
fifty or
yeah.
something like that.
See, that's the thing. Like, I feel like this is just me, guys. I want to hear what you guys think, but I feel like you kind of, in a way, like, kind of disrespecting, like, owners of the PlayStation console, because it's like, how are you gonna have it priced the same amount as your console? It's like
Yeah,
at that point it might as well be its own little console, like where you wouldn't even need the PS5. If they could do something like that, like the I think it's the Oculus Quest, where you just buy the headset and then you can play the games like directly from the headset. Like if they could do that,
yeah. Then that's a
that would
different
be,
thing.
yeah, that's a different thing. Like I wouldn't mind if it's priced similar. Um, but I think 300 would be like a good price point. But
Maximum.
I doubt it. It seems like this is gonna have a lot of really good tech in it, so they probably don't want to really take a loss on this.
Honestly, I'm hoping for like a 250
250.
because I feel like
Oh, that's a bit
yeah,
of a
because
stretch.
I'm feeling like
That
just
might be a
fuck
bit
it.
of a stretch. Yeah.
Well, I feel like 300 has to be the max because they have to go for the
Yeah.
blue ocean strategy because you can literally get l- pretty much latest technology from VR for what
Yeah,
$250 with Oculus. It's not that expensive.
Yeah.
How it isn't like it's not that expensive, so it gets to the point where it's like okay, VR2, yeah, we get it, it's new, but you're going to be using my brand new PS5 to run these games. So it's just like, what are we paying for? I don't understand what. I know what we were paying for, but how do you sell that? And how will it ever take off? It just doesn't make any sense. It's something,
yeah,
But again, it's a luxury, right? Not everyone has to have it. So I suppose it's a luxury item, and people spend like $300 on headphones. So I guess they'll spend it on a VR headset. That's one way to look at it.
Well, I guess they have to do a good job of selling it, man. You know, um, I mean, if they clean up some of the stuff that they have with the other one, where like the cords and all that stuff, and then they really sell it. Um, I think a lot of people will start to jump onto it even more so than what they've already done. I mean, and the technology is cool. I mean, like once people like who haven't experienced it experience it, I think they would really like it, man. It's really cool technology, especially now that they're trying to implement like all of the different features from the DualSense into the controllers for the VR. Like that, I think that's going to be next level, man. Like already with the PS5 and the like the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers or whatever with the DualSense controller. Like it makes such a big like I didn't even think it was going to make that big of a difference, but like there's really nothing quite like it. But to imagine that like sort of experience in VR, like if you haven't like it's hard to explain VR if you've never looked at it, man. It's just something that you have to experience, man. Because it's like literally like immersing yourself into like this world, you know. And then I think it was in the article, the one that Pablo pulled up, man, where they were talking about like how they're changing the way it feels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
yeah,
Like not only just giving it like a resolution bump, whatever, maybe a performance bump or whatever, fixing the actual hardware itself to where there's like less cords, but like no, like you're actually in this world and it just feels different. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing that I'm kind of like really looking forward to, man. Like
which
I'm
makes.
trying to.
Sorry, go on.
No, that's pretty much it, man. It's just hard to imagine like what that would be like.
I was just going to say, which makes sense because look how much of a game changer the DualSense was. Like when we first actually used the DualSense, people were like, what? Like when I read about it, I was like, okay, that sounds pretty interesting. When you actually first realize, like, oh, this shit can change the way we play games, and that's conventional playing. So imagine that feel of DualSense, but in virtual reality, and also then having 360 movement with this new dude, this shit's gonna be sick, man.
It's gonna be wild, man. I'm thinking about like right now in my mind, I'm thinking of Astrobot, man. Because when I played that in VR, I I was so blown away by it that I got everybody that I knew to try it out. Like everybody, I was like, "Yo, you got to try this game." It's like this shit's crazy, and it's just crazy. Like being able to kind of like just look and see it. Like the stings are like right in front of you, man. It's like crazy. But imagine what they could do with that, like adding whatever that sort of feedback in this new like immersive world. Like, dude, I'm telling you, it's gonna be insane, bro. I think it's gonna be crazy. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting, man. It's gonna be very interesting.
What do you think the launch window for this thing is gonna be? Cause like, just going by like how they're like kind of like trickling out the info, it seems like they're looking for maybe a 2022, fall launch maybe. That's just kind of
yeah. That's how I think. I think personally, we're looking at 2022. I think that gives us enough. That gives us enough breathing space from the console launch. It gives us enough breathing space with the pandemic and manufacturing consoles and getting more consoles out. I mean, and launching that around Christmas, it's a no-brainer for marketing, right? It's Christmas time, everyone wants the hottest shit on the streets, and it's gonna be this new VR2 shit for PS5. Like, it's gonna be lit.
Especially if they have a great game that kind of like shows it off. You know what I mean? Like, because we don't even really know what some of.
You've gone ghost on us again.
Oh, yeah, you gotta fix that up, my guy.
But yeah, while he's fixing that, I just think it'd be great for a 2022 launch. I mean, what do you think, Pablo?
Yeah, I think a 2022.
Okay, you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay.
I think a 2022 launch is in the fall probably makes the most sense. You could launch it with some games. A lot of people are gonna be looking for something to buy during that time, anyways. So
Do you think PlayStation, like, obviously we know like Team Asobi will come with like a new Astrobot, like, for example, but do you feel like Sony need to launch it with I don't want to say real game because all games are real, but what I mean by like, do you think they need it to launch with a game on like a PlayStation produced level game such as Half-Life Alex? Do you think they need to do that for PSVR 2?
yeah, they're definitely gonna need a big game. Like you can't just fucking launch like a really B level game. It has to be like Half Life Alex type levels, and that really helped them. That game really showed what the technology could do, because that's one of the best looking VR games like in the existence that the VR's been in the market. So they could definitely do something similar like that, like maybe with a Killzone if you don't wanna fully bring back Killzone, and that's if they are working on this already. You can launch this thing with a Killzone VR. I think that would match up really well with something like Half Life Alex. If they want to have like that big shooter.
That's a fucking great idea, bro.
Yeah.
I was thinking, how could they bring Killzone back? Killzone VR2, like fucking hell, that'd be amazing.
No, that would be dope, and it'd be a good way to like just kind of ease it in, and just kind of tease people like, hey, like let's see if people really still care about this franchise, and then from there, they could do a full on fledged game on console. Whatever. But
That's a great idea.
So let's move on to this. This kind of been the talk of the town this week. Forsaken or before
Forspoken.
Forsaken, sorry, fucking Ken got me saying that shit now.
You make me thinking about Destiny now.
Fuck, Yeah.
Bro, I've been saying it like that for the last couple of days.
Yeah, bro. So yeah, before it was known as Project Athia or however you pronounce it. But now its official name is Forspoken. Comes to PS5 in 2022. They showed us a little glimpse of the gameplay. A little bit of the character, and who the main character is. I'm hyped. What you guys think about this?
Oh shit! Dre said he can't hear you, Papa.
Really? Hold up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What
If
about
he's still here.
what about now, Dre? Let me know if you can hear me. I'll put the audio all the way up.
He's
Oh,
troubleshooter Pablo's low.
he said you're low.
Okay. Is it good now? Guys?
I mean, it's been good for me the whole time. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yo, chat, what about now? Let me know if you can hear me. I'm not sure what I would have to do to fix that. I did turn down the desktop audio down just to. Let me know, chat. Let me know.
Yeah.
They said
let's
yeah.
just continue for now. I guess they will. Oh, he can. Oh, he
Oh
said
yeah.
yeah.
He said yeah.
Cool.
I had to turn that shit back up.
Also, what's good, Dre?
Yeah,
Thanks
but
for
what's
dropping
good,
by,
Dre?
bro.
Thanks for coming. But so yeah, what do you guys think about this kind of new stylish? Oh, I didn't know this shit's gonna be an RPG. I thought it was just an action game. But what do you guys think about this new RPG from Square Enix?
Do you know
Hmm.
what? I watched it and I thought this eerily looks like the Unreal 5. Not Unreal 5. What the fuck am I talking about? The Unreal Engine demo. It looks like the same game.
Oh
But
yeah, I see what you mean.
I guess
Especially
when you
when
kind of
it's
look at
out
it
in the
side by side.
desert. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, what the fuck? But obviously, what something that stood out for me is that, and this is nothing to do with the game. This is just to do with the PS5. But watching this, it made me think, man, we really haven't even scratched the surface of what the PS5 can do because that game looks incredible. This game looks incredible. Like just the graphic fidelity looks amazing. I think for
Yo,
so
I'm not
early in
even.
the PS5 lifestyle, like I just think it looks amazing. Sorry, go on.
No. I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
Continue. Go on. What's good?
No. I was just gonna agree with you, man. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I literally thought the same thing. Like, literally, the same exact thought went through my mind. I was like, dude, this game looks incredible, and this is not even like scratching the surface of what the console can do. Like, imagine what some of Sony's other studios are gonna be working on, man. It's insane. But the game itself looks crazy good, man. Like me personally, I don't understand how anybody can hate on it because it just looks insane. Like graphically, like the way she moves around the map and stuff like that,
Wow. Yeah.
dude, so good, man. It's so crazy. Like I remember when we first saw the first announcement trailer, and like I remember when I saw it, I was like, this looks cool. It looks kind of like something that I would play, like the fantasy type stuff, right, with the dragons and all that shit. Like I like that type of stuff personally. Um, And then I saw the gameplay and I was like, okay, it looks pretty cool. She's like jumping around the rock pillars and stuff like that. It looked pretty dope. Um, but then when I saw like the little clips of gameplay that they had released, the other day, like it looks really, really like I don't even know what you say. Like it just looks fluid. Like it just looks like like you'll be gliding across the ground and the rocks and shit. It looks crazy, man.
It just looks so smooth. Like everything just looks fucking smooth. I'm like, this shit looks sick. Like I had no fault in the trailer. I'm just like, this looks great. Which is, it's hard to understand how anyone is hating on that right now. Like I understand if it comes out and it's shit, fair enough. But from that video, you cannot be hate. You can't hate that video. I'm sorry,
Yeah, bro.
but you can't
Probably
hate that
just
shit.
people being salty about it, bro.
Yeah, because that shit just looks dope. That's why that shit looks legit, man.
It looks super legit. Like even that cutscene that they had with the dragon and stuff like that. Like the way like the graphics of her face and everything. I was like, dude, this looks crazy, and the dragon and stuff. I was like, man, I can't wait to play it, dude. It looks crazy. I can't wait to see like how they kind of go with it, like how they're going to build on the gameplay aspect of it some more, and yeah, and maybe like the story or whatever.
What's your thoughts on it, Pablo?
It definitely looks interesting. I love the like it has like that fucking like I don't know that Final Fantasy aesthetic that I fucking like with their games.
Hmm?
So it looks really interesting. I'm like really a sucker for like really stylish, you know, kind of like out there like combat and just movement. Like I was a really big fan of like Vanquish games like Vanquish and like Bayonetta and stuff like that. So this is like definitely up my alley. I wasn't expecting it to be announced as a I guess they announced it before, but I wasn't expecting it to be a RPG. So that should be an interesting element, you know, to the game. Cause I know a lot of people love their RPGs and stuff like that. So, just as far as just like how the game looks and like just the fluidity and the speed of
I'll be
it.
right back. I just need to pee.
Yeah,
Keep
go ahead,
going.
go ahead. But
Alright.
just just the fluidity and just the speed of how like how she moves is just it kind of reminds me of how like SpiderMan plays like you just feel like this exhilarating feeling like just going through the city like you know webbing through the buildings and like seeing her like kind of traverse the way she does like that shit is really dope, man. It's really dope to me.
It's almost it. Now that you mentioned Spider-Man, you know, it like I could really see like the comparison, man. But in a way, it's almost a little bit cooler, man, in my opinion. You know, because of like the fantasy aspect of it. You know, it's like she's in this fantasy world, and like all of these irregular whatever objects and mountains and hills and stuff like that. You know, she's just like freaking gliding across the rocks and shit. It's crazy, man. You know. And I can't wait to see how they implement the RPG mechanics. They didn't really talk about it too much though, Vince. I'm wondering if they're trying to do something like a little different or like what the case is with the actual like mechanics of the game.
Facts.
Yeah, I'm
I
back.
definitely agree with that. Um, let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, so PlayStation, um, they announced that they're doing a Play at Home 2021 update. 10 free games you could download this spring. I'll list them off right here. I guess this is. Oh, okay. So this is for. It's a little VR package too. So basically, they'll be giving away Res for free, Abzu for free, which is incredible. That game is incredible. The Witness, Enter the Gungeon, Subnautica, Moss for VR players, Astrobot VR players, Paper Beast for VR players, and Thumper, which is that's another good game as well. Um,
And Horizon. They mentioned Horizon too.
And
It's not on the
Horizon
list.
will be free for a limited time starting April 19th. So all of this will be kicking off March 25th. Sorry. So just a couple of days from now, they'll be giving away these games to the PlayStation community. It's pretty cool. I'm not personally interested. If I had a VR, I would definitely snag that Astrobot Rescue Mission for sure. Because I love the Astrobot. It's such a cool game. Um,
But
but but yeah, this is pretty
doesn't
cool.
it doesn't this work like um sort of like PS Plus? So even if you don't have VR, anyone that's thinking of getting it in the future, you might as well just add these to your library. You know,
Oh yeah, that's
you
a
might
good
as well
point.
just,
That's a good point.
you know. So even if you don't have it, just add them anyway, because then you always have it for the future. So
That's true. That's
that's
true.
Yeah, I
my
mean they're
plan anyway.
completely free, right? I mean they're
Yeah.
completely free. Like you don't need PS Plus for it, as far as I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. What I meant, yeah, exactly. So you don't. But what I'm saying is, like, you might as well add them to the library. Like, it's a no-brainer. They're free.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. Facts.
It's-
So,
so I,
what do you
you know,
guys think
I
about
definitely recommend.
the games here? Like, have you played any of them?
I'm just pulling up the list so I can just get a visual look myself.
But yeah,
Yeah, I played a
Um,
couple of them. Like
I've only played Abzu, honestly.
I played that one. I played Astrobot. I played Moss too on PSVR, which that one's really cool too, man. Like that one's kind of hard to explain too, because it's almost like this. Like with Astrobot, right? You're I don't even know how to explain it, bro. It's hard to explain. But in Astrobot, you're like controlling like Astro through the world. Um, whatever. Moss is kind of more like that, but it's like more of a side scroller sort of. But it's not really a side scroller. You know what I'm saying? It's more. It's crazy. I can't even fucking describe it. It's cool though because like it's this little mouse with a sword and stuff. Um,
I
you
like
know, and
Subnautica. Subnautica's awesome, man.
I've never played that one.
Oh, basically, Subnautica is. This is going to sound a bit wacky, but bear with me. Think it's basically Minecraft, but in the sea, but it's not Minecraft. So, long story short is you land on a you land on an alien world in a spaceship and it crashes and shit. And then you're in like this little rescue pod in the middle of the ocean, and then you have to swim down in the ocean, and you can like you have to find different bits of equipment to craft items to try and survive. And you can survive like you have to craft like how can I explain it? You have to craft like oxygen tanks, and then you can build like a little boat, and you can drive underneath the ocean. And I know that it might sound a bit open, it might sound a bit weird, but it's like a Minecraft game where like you're creating a story in your head, even though there's a story to follow. It's like it's a very interesting game. It's worth a try. I definitely recommend it because when you first look at it, you think, "What the fuck is this bullshit?" But when you start playing it, it's really interesting, man. I find it really interesting.
No, for sure.
I highly recommend giving it a try for free.
So yeah.
And
I might check it out.
The Witness is that puzzle game. I already have that anyway because that was a plus game quite a while ago.
Yeah, I was about to say too because I think I have that one downloaded as well. I never got around to it, not yet anyway.
And then and Enter the Gungeon's just like a sort of well, has anyone played that? I played on Xbox once. It's procedurally generated games. I'm not really a fan of procedurally generated games like
Yeah.
dungeon games, but yeah, it's okay.
I really wanted to try out Paper Beast personally. I mean, I thought that one looked pretty cool. It kind of reminded me of like something similar to Abzu, where it was kind of like this like interactive. Like I don't even know what you would like categorize Abzu as. You know what I'm talking about. It's like this interactive, like kind of narrative. There's not really any dialogue in the game. It's just like an experience, sort of. You know, and it's cool though, like because you get to see all of this like cool scenery as you like kind of traverse through the different parts of the world and stuff like that. And that's kind of like what Paper Beast reminds me of a little bit. I wanted to get it a while back, but I never got around to it. So I mean, now's a good time, I suppose, since they're giving it away for free. To be honest.
No, for sure.
Add that shit to the library, man. Add it to the library.
Hey man, free games, man. It doesn't hurt. Fucking just download
You,
it. See if you guys like it. But
you know what though? You know what though? I wanted to kind of like what do you guys think about like the implications of like this type of stuff going forward though? You know, because I know like a lot of people were comparing like what Sony did to I guess what Microsoft was doing with Game Pass a little bit. You know, like what do you think this is something that they can kind of like combat that with along
No,
with like PS Plus?
because I feel like play at home is what it is. Like this sounds really bad, but it's just corporate marketing to say, hey, we know we're going through a pandemic. Here's our here's our charity for the pandemic. That's all that shit. This is play at home is nothing to do with anything to do compete with Game Pass. It's to do like last year there was a pandemic. We had a play at home promo to sort of encourage you to stay at home. You know, it gives Sony some good kudos to say, oh look, Sony's being quite woke. They're recognizing the coronavirus and they're giving people some free games to play at home. And they're just doing the same thing a year later. That's what I believe. And that might sound pessimistic, but I don't think this is anything to do with oh shit, you know, we need to come back Game Pass, because if you look at the games, like they're just handing out some games, but they're nothing crazy, right? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I just feel like they're handing out a couple of games and say, look, there you go, here's some games, and it's to the point where you can't even be critical of the games because they're free.
It's free.
There's people on social media like, oh, these games are shit. It's just like, dude, they're free. Like
They're free. Like it's not even like you're paying for it. Not even in Game Pass. Like the games are like literally free.
yeah.
I'm wondering
So
if this is something that they're going to continue going forward. Like, I mean, maybe it's circumstantial. You know what I mean? Like to the pandemic and stuff like that, just to be like, hey, we're kind of like whatever, thinking about the community, blah blah blah. Whatever.
well, it is because that's what Play at Home. That's why Play at Home started. It was in conjunction with Stay at Home. Stay at Home for the virus. Play at Home PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the only way I can see it continuing is it continues as long as countries around the world continue to be in lockdown.
True.
But no one knows when that's really going to end. We can hope when it's going to end, but we don't actually know that it's ever going to end. So, but is it something that is going to be like, oh, by the way, this is PlayStation's new thing? I highly doubt that. It doesn't make any sense as a business wise. But
yeah, I was just thinking the timing for it was interesting. Because there was a lot of talk, like whatever with the Bethesda acquisition and all that stuff, right? And I don't even want to get into that.
Ken's dropping all these segues. I think everything that's happened this week is not a coincidence that it just happened to start rolling out, including the play at home scheme. And
Bro,
I guess
it was just
sorry, you cut out again, bro.
I think it's cutting out.
Yeah,
so perfect.
You back?
Oh yeah, you gotta reset your internet, my guy.
But while you're resetting, I'm gonna quickly just flow on from what I was saying, like how I feel like all this shit wasn't a coincidence. Dropping the whole play at home shit, dropping the new VR shit with the controllers, and then the announcement out of nowhere, which I think is a fucking crazy baller move, is buying Evo, and I think buying Evo has more shit behind it than people actually realize. I was quite interested to know what your thoughts were on the acquisition of Evo.
Mine or Pablo's?
Evo.
You can go ahead, Pablo.
Both.
I mean, you wanted to really talk about it the most.
Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I've never really been like too much into esports type stuff. So, I mean, I'm kind of like just like an outsider looking in, kind of. So, I mean, maybe you guys have more to say about it than I would.
Yeah, I have an interesting thing to say on it, but I'll say my piece afterwards because I'm more of an outsider as well. But my outsider input, yeah, I have a theory on it. But what's your thoughts, Pablo?
Yeah, I have a bit of a theory as to what this is leading to. This is kind of like, this is what's being shown on the surface level, but I think there's something a little bit more deeper to it. This might be leading to, maybe some exciting things to come for them. But acquiring Evo itself, isn't really like the big, like thing that I'm looking at. They'll be able to, market, whatever fighting game comes out, and if it's displayed at Evo, it'll bring a lot more people to their platform and bring a lot more people to the fighting games, because fighting game community, they definitely need it. So lately, a lot of the fighting games haven't been like selling out like crazy like that. But they do have like really big passionate communities that really support them and stuff. But what I took away from this acquisition was that, um, Street Fighter 5, they've been, putting out content for that, and there's been like little rumblings, going around in the background that Street Fighter 6 was gonna be exclusive again to the PlayStation platform. So I think this is just a way to kind of like tease that coming to, PlayStation consoles only. I don't know if it would be cross-gen or whatever, but um, it would definitely I think I could see this helping kind of like push the exclusivity of like the next Street Fighter. I'm not sure about any of the other fighting games, but Street Fighter would definitely be one of them. They had, they've had like a really good relationship with them, for the past, decade. So I could see that coming out of this. What do you think about it, Dan?
I think it adds to, and I'm gonna go a bit deep here, but bear with me. If I go too deep, tell me to shut the fuck up. But companies are really now just in the business of making massive conglomerate or having everything under one umbrella. So you think something like Disney Plus, Disney, them motherfuckers, they go out, they're like, dude, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna buy Marvel, we're gonna buy fucking Star Wars, we're gonna have all this shit. So when you think of this shit, you just come to this one place and we have everything. Now, Sony's doing something very interesting, especially in the media sector, because yes, their presence is shortening in Japan, but is it actually really shortening in Japan? Because if you realize what Sony's been doing, Sony has quietly but locked down the whole anime marketplace. They now own Crunchyroll and Funimation. I know Sony doesn't just mean PlayStation, but just saying Sony now. They own Funimation, they own Crunchyroll. They're now buying Evo. Well, they've bought Evo. I know Gran Turismo might not be big to us in terms of esports, but Gran Turismo in esports is huge. People watch Gran Turismo the same way they watch like NASCAR and F1. Like it's huge. If you look at the numbers, the streamer numbers online, it's ridiculous. And that's the same for like games like FIFA and things like that. So I know people might say, "Oh yeah, but who cares about soccer?" Yeah, you may not care, or I might like it, or someone else, but it's a worldwide thing. I feel like they're
It's a
locking
huge
down
market.
now. Yeah, like the next generation, no matter how we want to shape it up, like we enjoy games on a single player basis or maybe on a multiplayer basis, how we're just gonna play with 3 or 5 friends. But the reality is that the whole world is shifting more and more online. And the pandemic is just showing you it's more and more online. If you look at like sports, like anything, any sports, NBA, NFL, MLB, no one can go to stadiums because of Corona. Everything's locked down. You can't even go to the movie theater. You have to watch shit on streaming. So if you can't go to stadiums to watch sports, what's the next best thing? It's going to be esports. And I just feel like these sort of moves that they're making is only going to bring more and more money to the PlayStation brand, and it's going to cement the PlayStation brand as PlayStation's the place. You go to PlayStation, them motherfuckers have everything. They have fighting tournaments. It's just like PlayStation's becoming like a virtual Disney World place. It's just a land of fun. You come to PlayStation and it's got everything that you need in the gaming arena. It's
But
the
you know what,
most
man?
recognized. It's the most recognized brand. They sell hundreds of millions of consoles, and it's not even a case of it's ponies versus Xbox, because really and truly, it's not actually a battle because the numbers are clear. It's very clear who the number one person, the Forza, is in gaming. It's PlayStation. It's not even an argument. That's why I don't even argue with Xbox. Is because it's very clear that PlayStation is number one. Xbox is cool, and I like Xbox. I think Xbox is pretty interesting. I think the Game Pass thing is pretty interesting. I actually think, regardless of what people say, and regardless of my support for $60 games and first party games, no matter how hard we fight this year, I honestly believe no matter how hard we fight it, things like Game Pass will be the future, because the same thing happened with streaming music and streaming video content. Everyone said it wouldn't work. Everyone said it won't work. And no matter what, it happened. It happened. iTunes and Spotify, they consumed and just liberated music. The same thing happened with the streaming for Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO Max. It's going to happen. So the next step. So what is the next step? It's just like, how do we lock down everything else? And I feel like these small acquisitions that Sony's doing, or not small, but like these like Evo purchases, is that next step. You know? And that's what I don't know. I just feel like PlayStation are really playing. I think it's a chess game, and I feel like people in the gaming community they have to start thinking a bit more outside the box because the world's changing, dude. Like it's different. The world's just so digital now. Even if you look at something like E3, E3 will never. I don't believe E3 will ever go back to what it was or become physical. Like those days are just gone. Corona or no Corona, Corona's just sped up the digital world. If do you know what I mean? Like I just feel like everything's different. Like everyone knows now what it means to stream or to do a live stream or like even like in the music industry, people doing verses or doing digital contents. That's just where we're at. So I know I'm going on off of the tangent, but I just feel like that's PlayStation's next move now. It's just like how do we dominate the next digital arena because it has to be more than just selling video games or just making a new game because they can't just stick on that because they would just lose. It's impossible. It's impossible to stay still. You have to evolve, especially with technology. So yeah, that's my TEDx talk over.
you know,
That's
you know,
interesting.
I was actually thinking it's like something a little similar. From my like outside perspective, because ultimately Sony is a entertainment company, and a hardware company, and whatever with their movies and their film and their games and stuff like that. To me, it almost feels like they're trying to. It almost feels like they're trying to kind of like carve out their own like I guess ecosystem for entertainment, like in general. You know what I'm saying? Like because they already have their film like division. The gaming portion of Sony is like booming. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously they just acquired Crunchyroll not too long ago, and now Evo with with this fighting tournament stuff. I mean, and esports, although me personally, I'm not like the biggest esports person, I understand that it's like huge in gaming. Like that's like huge, and it's like, it's almost like a mesh of both, you know what I'm saying? Like gaming and entertainment as well. You know what I'm saying? So it almost feels like they're trying to like really create this like this like environment of entertainment. You have anime, you have your video games, you have all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Esports, and how they support that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you guys have any other theories as well as like how they can specifically like support esports and Evo and all of that, like how they're gonna or how that can like benefit them later on. But that's what it kind of seems like to me. And you know what? I was listening to Thrash's podcast the other day when they were talking about Evo, and he said something that I thought was pretty interesting. Because like I said, with this whole thing with Crunchyroll and all that, whatever, right? Like, what if they created like an app or something? You know what I'm saying? Where they like had all of this shit in one place.
I think they will. I've always said it, and this is going to sound crazy, and this is I'm talking future now. This is nowhere near happening now, but I genuinely believe that in the future there won't even be a PlayStation. PlayStation will be an app. That's it. It will be the same way that you press Netflix and all your shit's there. That will be the future with PlayStation. But obviously, we're not there yet. And I know it failed. But don't forget, we're only in 2021. But things like Google Stadia are a proof case that, in theory, the technology could work. Is the world ready for that yet? No.
Yeah.
Is it stable enough for it to exist right now? No. But if you just think, it's 2021 now. Imagine in 2031, the technology, the internet speeds, the graphics. Imagine all that shit, or anything. Oh yeah, but that's only 2000. Okay, what about 2041? So imagine in 20 years' time, we're not going to be at a space where we're going to be buying a hardware and just plugging that shit in. We're going to be at a space where we just press an app Everything's there. All the latest drivers and graphics are all updated. You could just run the game instantly, bang. That shit's gonna happen. But then it's just like with PlayStation, if they can build out their IP, build out their content where you're going to PlayStation and it's just one destination where you've got your video games, you've got your fucking anime. Shit, you got your music, because if you think about it, Sony Music, they own a lot of shit. You've got movies. Why doesn't, and all these little experiments, this shit's been happening before. There's a reason why PlayStation Video existed. There's a reason why they had these services where you can have PlayStation TV and fucking watch TV shows and buy movies. Because the long game is, in the future, PlayStation would just be no different to Netflix. Instead of when you go on there, it's got your movies, it's got your TV shows, it's got your anime, it's got your video games, it's got your live esports events. There's no need to have an ESPN or something like that, because you just go to PlayStation. Everything's there. Bang.
Bro, I feel like it feels like such a future-proof kind of thing. Like right now, I feel like, we're not going to see like a whole lot of like changes as of right now. But I feel like they're really like starting to build out like this infrastructure for like, PlayStation is like the place to be for like a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Like not even just the video games, but like even like what was it, like a year and a half ago or something like that, they announced that they were going to start making movies like with their game IPs, and we've been doing a lot of like think about that shit. Like we've been hearing recently about this new Uncharted movie and whatever.
That is a good idea, but like it's another thing if they're actually gonna be good. But I'm hoping.
I think there's now proof cases like, and this is where there's a thin line between you're forcing the issue or actually we can do something interesting here. And the examples I have is things like Castlevania on Netflix. It's just like, you don't have to force a video game idea and just say, oh, we're gonna make an Uncharted movie. Okay, that's cool. Or
that's when I
I think most video games, if I'm honest with you, I think it's very difficult to make a video game into a movie. But making a video game into a TV series, hell, that can work, because it's just like you get a long time to tell a story.
Can I say something about that real quick? Like, because we weren't planning to talk about this, but this is actually kind of interesting. Like, because like when you're making a movie out of a video game, like just think about how long a video game is and the aspects you're taking away to make it into just a live action display. Like you're taking away the immersion of us being able to play as the actual character. So now we're just seeing what the character does and like the actions the character makes, and it's just gonna be a different experience. It's not gonna feel the same way as if you're playing it on your own, because that's just a whole different level of an experience. So, but with a TV show, I mean, that's still happening with a TV show, but like you're able to like flesh out the character, just as you would in a video game. Because Uncharted, a game like Uncharted is it's a pretty decently long game, like maybe like 10 to 15 hours depending on how you play. So like a TV series would match up to a degree to how you experience playing it yourself. So I definitely agree with that, Dan, for sure.
And that's what I feel like. I feel like if you look at something like,
go get my food. I'll be back, guys. But go ahead.
Yeah, if you look at something like I think like The Mandalorian would never work as a movie. The Mandalorian is basically a video game, because each episode is just basically a new mission. And I think that just sort of works. And like Devil Shooter put like The Last of Us, which I'm really looking forward to, by the way.
Perfectly.
And it's also starring the guy that plays the Mandalorian. Funny enough.
Pablo Pascal. Oh, I mean Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. Also, he's in Narcos. Great series. So,
I saw that one too.
That works perfect as a TV show, and I really hope it does well. And I feel like fleshing it out, that works perfect as a TV show, and I'd like to see more of that. I see studios like like Bungie, they're one of my favorite studios, and with their recent investment from like Tencent, they said that what they're trying to do, especially with the Destiny franchise, is to expand that IP into TV shows and things like that. So I feel like a lot of these companies now are really trying to lock down this IP and expand it, and I think it would work. Like, imagine a Metal Gear Solid TV series. That'd be dope. Like,
Hell yeah.
and
And
back
it
in the
just
day, maybe it'd be a movie, but it's just like it doesn't. You can't make that into a movie. Like, that should need to be a TV show. That'd be sick, man. Like,
dude,
I think that'd be
it almost
awesome.
it almost feels like almost like another level of immersion. Because Sony, like, it almost feels like Sony is like I said before, not only are they trying to like build out, like, I feel like anyway, they're trying to build out like this like massive like conglomerate of entertainment, like just in general, video games and movies, TV series, all that shit, right? And they want to be the best. Like, they like their IPs, like that'd do great on like as the video games, like The Last of Us, like I think they want that shit with the movies and stuff as well. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, it really feels like they're trying to be like the place to be for just entertainment, like just in general. Like if you want to, like, imagine if you had like for example, like HBO or whatever, but it's like PlayStation HBO. I mean, I know like Last of Us is going to be on HBO, but you get what I'm trying to say.
No, dude,
like
I literally see that happening. Like, it just makes sense because if you just look at the IP, and that's what people don't realize, it's not a case like if you look at what they're actually doing, they're methodically building out like people say exclusive zones matter and people getting butthurt because it's going to PC and stuff like that, but that's not PlayStation's end goal right now. Their goal isn't let's keep shit off Xbox. Their goal is let's make some shit and let's get the IP. Let's build up our IP catalog. That's all we got to do. Build up the IP catalog. Build up the IP catalog. Because with that IP, imagine all the stuff you can make. That's why I feel like they're doing all these exclusive deals. Like, yeah, they may not be acquiring Bethesda, like for example, but then they can just do deals with people. Like, yeah, dude, let's sign a deal. Let's do a deal where we have the rights to make this game. Let's do a deal that we have the rights to make this game. Do you know what I'm saying? Or that's
yeah,
what I feel.
facts, bro.
That's the moves that they should make.
Yo, let me yo, what's good, Azazel Black? Yo, what's good, Logical Nonsense? Welcome to the podcast, bro.
Yeah, what's good,
go
Pace,
ahead.
man? Thanks for dropping in. I
you
just
can
feel
go
like that's why I really would love. I would love them. I know it's only been rumors at the moment, but if they can lock down like some of that Konami IP, do you know what I mean? If they can get like Silent Hill or Metal Gear Solid or Castlevania, if they can lock that shit in, I think that'd be sick, bro. Because that just makes sense, and it's not a case, and because it's not about who buys who. It's just like, dude, what IP do you have? And that's with
Yeah.
anything. It's just like, what IP do you own, bro? Like, when you have
And
IP, you have everything.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention this as well, like on the topic of IP, because right now, like, obviously everybody knows whether they like it or not. Sony, in terms of like their IP in the video game space, is like top notch. You know what I'm saying? They have like top tier IP. You know what I'm saying? So like, what if you were not only able to like bring that sort of version, like say for example, The Last of Us Part 2, whatever, whether you love it or you hate it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that level of immersion to like to an expanded universe. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are like, they want to get to know more about this. You know what I'm saying? Like once you're finished with The Last of Us, the game, like it was a great experience or whatever, especially like even if they add like multiplayer aspect for it or whatever, like that's another aspect of it. But then you have like this whole expanded universe because now you have The Last of Us HBO series or whatever, PlayStation series, like as an IP. You know what I'm saying? But like do
definitely.
that with all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like really builds out the IP. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, dude, 100%. I get it. Do you know what I mean? I'm fully on board. I understand. That's just how that shit works. Like, if you want to build I think we have to remember as gamers as well. Like gamers always want something new. Like I just seen there, I want more good games for logical nonsense, which I get. But like, we're not in the days now of like Super Nintendo, PS1, PS2, where we can spit a game out in like a year or 18 months, and it's just like, okay, cool. Like at some point, it's just like, where does the story develop? At some point, what is new? What's extra? How can we expand this? Like, because I feel like just making a game is doable, but I just feel like we're at that point now where it's just like,
how do you dominate the media?
how do you do it in the media? And sometimes it's like, are we doing it a disservice? Like, not every game has to become a TV show. I get it, of course, and I agree. I don't want every game to become a TV show. I don't want every game to become a movie. But some IP is so fantastic that you just want to exist in that world. And it's just like, fucking hell, this shit's amazing. Like, I want to know more. But I'm like that with Destiny. Like, okay, it's gone a bit left as of recent, but what I do love about Bungie is those motherfuckers can tell a story. And like the lore for Destiny is crazy to the point where it's just like there's so much lore for Destiny. It's just like, man, you can imagine the stuff that they can make of that, and I'm so glad that they're not just sticking it on a game, because it's just like I feel like the story that those creators have made and the lore they've made, it deserves so much more for it to be explored that you're not just going to get from a video game. Do you know what I mean?
And
So
it almost feels like a disservice, like kind of like you were saying, like because you spent so much time like building out these awesome characters, this awesome IP, and this like crazy story or whatever, and then you experience it in the game, and it was great, it was fantastic, and then it's just done. Because I know you've had that feeling where you're like, where you play through this game and you're like, your face is right at the TV screen, and you know what I'm saying, like figuratively speaking,
yeah,
like you're just into it, you know what I'm saying, and then like
yeah,
it's like that the whole way through, and then when you're done, it's like you're disappointed, but not in a
yeah.
bad way, but it was like disappointed because the experience was so great that you're disappointed that it's over,
Well, I felt
and
like that with I'm not gonna lie, I felt like that when I was getting towards the end. When I got towards the end of Persona 5 Royale, I was like, dude, I want this to just keep. I want this. That's one game I just wanted to go on for forever. I was just enjoying that shit, man. Like that shit was
nice, dude.
fun, man. I love Persona.
Yeah, same, dude. I still got to go back and finish Persona 5, by the way. You just reminded me of that. I'm gonna get
I'm a
into that
Persona.
one.
I'm a Persona stan. Um, and like I don't care when anyone says like I'm yet in all my years of
All right, I'm
gaming,
back,
I'm
guys.
yet to see a more stylish game. Everything about that game just oozes style.
What game?
Persona,
Persona 5.
Yeah, it really is
bro,
stylish. For for
when
that
I
sort of
when
game.
I first played it, like when I first played Persona 5, man, it was funny because at the time, it was kind of like I wasn't used to the mechanics. You know what I'm saying? So everything was kind of like slower than what I was kind of used to, a little bit, and it was a lot of dialogue and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I like the combat, and I liked like certain aspects of it or whatever, right? Um, but it was just slow. It was just really slow, and then I started to realize, like the first time I played it, it just didn't click with me like right away. But then when I got back to Royal, like when Royal came out, I came back and I played it again, and I put the time into it. I like dedicated some more time to just like learn the game, like the actual game, and then I started realizing like everything that you do in that game like has some sort of like connection to how the gameplay actually functions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like the way that they built the like that whole game is awesome because it's like it doesn't feel like you're just doing like something like this like stupid little like side quest, like like in a lot of open world games or whatever, you like just do side quests just to like whatever waste
Yeah.
time, like when
It's like
you
everything in that game has a reason behind it. Like
everything
yeah,
everything, dude, everything has like a function that works like within the actual gameplay itself. And I was like, when I started realizing that, I was like amazed. I was like, oh shit, like when I do this, it like becomes more interesting, because
you know what I
now
appreciate about that game as well, and it sounds so stupid, but the little notes that used to be in the menu from the developers that you just used to say, "Take your time." You know, the whole game you just see it in the loading screen. Take your time. It's just like, dude, there's no rush. Like,
No,
it's just gonna take you hundreds of hours or 50, 60, 70 hours. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the flow. Enjoy the game.
facts,
Like,
dude.
it's just amazing, man. I love it. Like, it's a
Bro,
great game.
I even wanted to make a review about that game because I just loved it so much. Like even the characters, like the actual stories behind the character. You know how like in a lot of other stories, you know, you have a character and whatever, they just have like a base like backstory for the character and that's just it. And then like going forward, you know, whatever. Like the past was the past and then the future is the future. Like in Persona 5, to me it felt like almost every step of the way, like from the beginning of the game, everything that happened to them early in the game, like that affected their personality or whatever. Like they were like struggling with that shit later on, like in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like it had some sort of like connection to how things like affected them later on. You know, and to me, it just felt like such a good, like solid method of like storytelling because not only did you have the gameplay aspect of it where everything had its function, you know, and everything like played into some aspect of how the game actually played, but then you had these stories, right, where the whole game is centered around the actual characters as well, which also plays into how the game functions, you know, built out in such an interesting way, you know, where everything that happened to them in the past still affects like now present day, you know, like it just felt so, to me it just felt really like realistic in a way, or maybe not realistic in a way, realistic but like relatable, I guess,
Yeah.
like realistic in that way, you know. So it's an awesome game, man, you know. And that's kind of, we're kind of going off topic with it, but fantastic
Hey
game,
man,
man.
fuck it, man. This is what it's about, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's
This
all
is the
good.
culture
It's all good.
PlayStation culture podcast, man. We just hang out.
No, for
You know what I'm
sure, for
saying?
sure.
Pablo can just leave and go and get some chicken nuggets and shit.
Yo,
I
let's
might
get
actually have to shut it
more.
down here, actually, cause Dan, the guy that I was talking about, that was gonna pick this thing up, he's actually on the way, so I might have to shut it down here.
Okay, we can start wrapping up, man. I mean, this is just the return of the culture, man. So
No,
we're just
for
bringing this
sure.
back.
We
We want
appreciate
to
y'all
make
coming in,
sure,
man. For sure, y'all always
yeah, we
show
just want to
support.
make sure that we didn't leave you guys hanging for 2 weeks. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
normal service is resumed.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened? What happened?
Wait, what you mean?
You said you had to start shutting it down. What was going on?
Yeah. I gotta start shutting down. This I'm selling this Xbox here to somebody. So he's on
Yeah,
the way. Yeah.
we're probably gonna cut it short
Yeah, I
on
gotta
this
cut
app,
it a
but
little bit off. But
I got you.
yeah. Fuck. Wait, Double Shooter just came in. Shit, my bad, bro.
Yeah, you
My
were
bad,
talking
bro.
about Persona
Yo,
5, and
next week you gotta be
it's like
here.
a
You gotta
bat
be here.
signal to me.
When we start at 7, bro. So you can get your
Well,
topics in, my guy.
sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good, bro.
Well, I joined in like 5 minutes later, and I decided I'll just watch it from the sidelines. And then you started talking about Persona 5. I was like, oh, I got to get into this conversation. I love Persona 5, but that's the only reason I came in here. Sorry.
well, I'll tell you what. Then that's a little preview for next week. So next week we're gonna have a little Persona 5 mini roundtable. We're gonna Devil's gonna jump in and throw some thoughts on this, man, because I
Damn, we
will
didn't even
always
get
talk
a
about
chance to
Persona
have this
5
other
until the day I
topic.
die. So
Like we still had this other topic about the Jade Raymond and the Haven Studio, and
yeah, I'll tell you what. Can we have we got time to quickly wrap that in, Pablo?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ken. Do you want to take the lead on that?
uh, yeah. I mean, I don't know how much time you have, but you know, I thought this was a great announcement, actually, man. And I know a lot of people have been talking about like this whole thing with Haven Studio and how they're not like necessarily like first party or whatever. But I thought it was cool because they had like this, you know, like they're now working on a new PlayStation exclusive IP, which is awesome, you know. And like I was saying earlier before, like with the announcement of these other games, the play at home stuff, the timing for it was just like interesting, you know, because now after like this whole thing with Bethesda or whatever, Sony comes out and they're like, you know what, we have this new PlayStation 5 exclusive coming from a game that's backed by Sony, whatever, and it's made by like it's being led by whatever like a whatever industry veteran, Jade Raymond, which if I'm not
She's sexy as fuck as well.
Yo, facts.
oh hell yeah.
That's a bad bitch right there.
I remember when I first saw her on a I think it was it X06 on the Xbox in 2006 when they announced Assassin's Creed. I was like, yo, who is this in the leather jacket and shit? And ever since then, she's been harassed online by horny males. But
That.
do you know what I like about Sony? I'm not trying to make this into a Sony Microsoft thing all the time, but that's why I fuck with Sony, man, because it's like it's not a case of just like, oh, look what we bought this week. They fuck with people. Like when they did that thing with where they did the thing with Hideo Kojima, and it was just like he was getting fucked over by Konami, and they're like, yeah, fuck it, we'll partner up with you. You can express your vision and make something. Now it wasn't everybody's flavor. It's not what everybody wanted, but they still gave them that creative control. Like, yeah, make something cool, dude. And I feel like the same thing's happened with Jade. Like Jade left, and she was trying to build something with Stadia. That shit obviously went south. And PlayStation's like, dude, Jade, you've made something great before. We're fuck with you. Make your studio, and come over here. So I'm very interested to see what comes out of that. And I have a lot of respect for PlayStation for backing her as well on that. I think it's a shrewd move.
Yo, how much time do you have, Pablo?
We could do another topic. We can do another topic. What you want to? Did you guys touch on the Returnal thing?
No, we didn't get a chance to touch on that one yet.
So what was the deal with that trailer? Cause I wasn't like really looking. I was trying not to really look at too much stuff from that game because I kind of want to surprise myself when I play it. But like, is it like, is it gonna have like first person like missions or something, or was that just for the aesthetic of that trailer?
I think they're gonna have like some first person stuff, man. I think it's gonna obviously be linked into the story, and how whatever this event that happened in her house or whatever, like how that's gonna link into everything. I don't know. They haven't really gone into the story, and I kind of feel like, and I think I don't know who it was that mentioned it, but I was listening to somebody, and they mentioned that they've been keeping the story kind of like under wraps.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, because that kind of tells me that, I think the story is going to be like better than what people will actually think, and coupled with the gameplay and stuff like that, the whole roguelike and stuff. I mean, I think what they're doing with that game is really cool, man. I wish we had more time to talk about it.
No, go ahead. We can get into it because I don't think this guy's gonna get here anytime soon. But go ahead. What were your thoughts on it?
I mean, personally, I've never really gotten into like roguelike games like that.
Yeah, me neither.
But the cool thing about this game though is that they're actually incorporating the story into the actual function of the roguelike aspect of the game, which I think is really cool.
It's fucking dope idea.
Facts, dude. Like, I don't know what you think about it too, Dan, or you, Pablo, or even you, Devil Shooter, but like, like what they're doing with this whole thing with the roguelike and how you die and you resurrect and things change. Like, I think it's really going to be cool, and they're going to have like these really like isolated moments where they kind of focus more on the story as well. Like these parts.
First of all, what's the definition of a roguelike game? I think I might have played one before, but I'm not like too sure.
So
I don't even know. Is it like where it's just like hard dungeons or something that you do?
Well, I mean, I don't know like the dictionary definition of it.
Nah, oh, sorry, go on.
No, I mean, if you could probably explain it better than me, because I've never.
Yeah. So all it is, so you know what procedurally generated games are, right?
Yeah.
So that it's basically that, but it's basically procedurally generated gameplay, but then it includes permadeath. So you could be going through a game, things will change each time. Like each time you do it again, it would change or it's permanent. So things that happen
on this game, or because this game seems really story driven, so I'd imagine they'd probably be a little more lenient.
Yeah,
I guess
they'll probably be lenient. They'll probably be lenient, but I feel like some things will be permanent. I feel like in your gameplay, when I say permanent, I feel like you can be very loose with the permanent sense. Like the permanent part for this game could be certain decisions that you make. So like you did something and then you died, but the thing that you did that time that you died may have influenced what happens when you wake again. Does that make sense? Like
No, it does. It
I,
does.
I can't explain it. Like did you ever play oh, what was that 2D fucking game? Oh, what was that
Wasn't
game?
Hades a roguelike game?
What's that? Yeah, Hades is a
Hades.
road game. I'm trying to think of the other one though.
What's the
That
other one
one,
called?
that guy got sacked from IGN because he
Dead
like stole
Cells.
someone's review.
Oh,
Huh?
Dead Cells.
Yeah, Dead
Yeah,
Cells.
Dead Cells. Yeah, play Dead Cells.
Yeah, I played that one. It's a pain in the
So
ass.
Dead Cells is the perfect example. So like like when you can go through a section, if you die, you can keep some of the upgrades that you've got, but then if you won't go through it again, it's going to be totally different. That's roguelike.
I think that's dope, man. Like, I mean, and what's really like kind of intriguing me about it is that they're actually like putting the story into that function of the game. You know what I'm saying?
And it looks great, dude. Like, roguelikes are normally like 2D or like sort of old school sort of looking. This shit looks triple A, 3D. Graphics look amazing. Like, it looks amazing.
Bro, people
Like,
are sleeping on this game so hard,
Yeah.
bro.
I think this is gonna definitely break some barriers down when it comes to like this type of genre, because you wouldn't. This would be the last genre you would expect to have a AAA treatment to it. You know.
this is the last game that you'd think will come from Housemarque. That's what I find is even more impressive. Like, Housemarque, the kind of games that Housemarque make and how they look. And I mean, what was their last game? So their last game was basically what Matterfall.
I think it was
Uh,
Matterfall, yeah.
Yeah, so they've gone from that to this, which I think is nuts. Like these are
Yeah,
the same
you could
guys
still
that
say
made
that.
Alienation and Resogun, and they're now making this. I think it's incredible.
Yeah, dude, and you can see like it still kind of has like that same like Housemarque kind of like flavor.
Oh, you definitely know you're playing a Housemarque game. I was looking at, like I just think like Housemarque is such an underappreciated developer, and also it just makes me love again PlayStation. Like what I was just saying earlier with the whole Jay Raven thing, PlayStation really give their developers creative freedom to like, hey, fuck it, try it. You know what I'm saying? Go for it. And I feel
Damn, I
like with
wish we had
this,
more time.
they're like, go for it.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. And shit, like I forgot what I was gonna say, but
Damn, we
I
get
forgot what I was.
excited for Returnal. I think we're still, by the way, guys, while we're on the topic of Returnal, the PS Culture podcast should hopefully be given it away. We should be having a competition around that time.
No, for sure. We're doing a giveaway
for a
on that
couple.
for sure. Yeah.
That's
I
what I
almost
wanted
forgot
to say.
about that. Yeah. I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
wait.
Yo, let me get this up before I forget this shit again.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
One thing that I hope that they do with this game, because at the end of the day, like they're adding all of these new like story elements or whatever, and they're making it into a roguelike, right? Whatever the case is, right? But at the end of the day, it's still kind of like an arcade shooter. So I really hope that they kind of like, as far as the story, like keep that part of it, isolated, but then they kind of have like other aspects of it where maybe you could do like arcade challenges and stuff like that, just for people who are kind of like who want to just jump into it, because I mean the foundation for the game is there, you know what I'm saying, for someone to jump in and just like whatever, just play like a bunch of like arcade challenges and shit like that. So I mean, I feel like if they really like build it out that way, it would make it even better, alongside the story and the like aspect, and then like really layer it on with
that game's gonna have challenging trophies, right?
No, for sure.
It's probably gonna have like a.
It's definitely gonna be one of the harder games out there. For sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Yo, hardest difficulty day one. I want that smoke, yo.
Oh shit, this nigga ready to be
day one, nigga. Oh no, he
day one. I want that smoke.
Oh no, he wildin'. I'm playing that shit on easy mode. I don't give a fuck what y'all niggas say. I'm trying to play on chicken edition.
Have you guys heard anything about the player invasion thing of that game? Because I've seen a headline. I haven't really looked into it, but have you guys heard anything about it?
Oh, actually, I didn't even hear anything about that. I know
About
they were having like some asynchronous type of I don't know,
Yeah,
multiplayer
yeah, yeah.
functionality
That
to it,
that
where you could like I don't know,
yeah.
drop messages down or something for people that's having issues with a
Oh,
certain
that.
boss or something.
Oh, okay, that's what they're referring to. I saw the headlines. I was like, "Is Invasion's gonna be in this game?" What?
No, nothing
That
like
that
that.
would make more sense if it's like
Yeah,
if it's messages. All right.
yeah, not for sure though. But yeah, I guess that's all we could do
we
right now. Yeah.
But listen, next week, it'd be good if we can get you in earlier, Devil Shooter. We'd be
Yeah,
happy
for
to
sure.
have you on, bro.
Yeah, no, for sure, bro.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'll
Devil
come
Shooter's
in
like, fuck
next
off,
time.
bro. Devil
I
Shooter's
just,
like, I'm not
I
coming
just need.
unless you motherfuckers talk about Persona.
No, I didn't even know. I didn't even know there was a show today. I just checked my messages. Like, oh, there's a PlayStation Culture. I'll
Yeah,
just hop in and be in the chat. Then you guys started talking about Persona 5, and I wanted to get in on this conversation, but just like I
nah, it
already
was a
told you,
bit
but
of
Persona 5 is like a bat signal for me. I can't skip out about talking about Persona 5.
No, that's all good,
the
bro.
It's
show
one of my
was a bit of a
favorite games
pop
of
up
this
show.
shit.
Yeah, I wanted to
Me
mention one more thing too, man. Before we go, we had this other this little rumor kind of going around with Polyphony Digital, where supposedly, according to this dude on Twitter, what was his name? Lumberjack.
Taking a Horizon game.
Yeah, yeah, like a open world sort of like GT game. But you know what I thought? I think that would be dope, honestly. I mean, look, man. Personally, I enjoyed Forza. I like Forza Horizon myself. You know, I think it's a great game, and if GT can kind of like have that same sort of like formula and like I don't know flair, like I think that would be great, man. Personally,
I would just like to see that
I don't.
studio do something different, like, and not because they have to, and they obviously they're great at what they do, but like sometimes you can be very surprised when a studio is just doing one type of game and they do something else. Like, oh shit! Like Naughty Dog did that when they, just remember the days to make Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, and now they make these games. So like, I just think it'd be a seismic shift, and like even down to like what Insomniac make. I think another big jump for me as well was when the jump from Infamous to I can't even fucking think of the game now. It's gone out of my head. The ninja game.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of
The jump
Tsushima.
from Infamous to Ghost of Tsushima is just crazy. You wouldn't even expect that.
No, the jump. That jump wasn't that crazy. The big jump was Sly Cooper to Infamous. That was a jump.
Yeah, but
That's
what I
when
feel
you
like,
go, whoa,
the
that's
direction, I feel like it's just so classy of the studios. I'm just very impressed by them.
I really am too, man, and I'm really like looking forward to seeing what they're doing. Like some of their other studios, like we haven't really heard anything. Like the only thing that we heard from the other studios, like London studio was working on like another AAA game. I think they announced not like a couple of years ago that Ben Studio had already started working on another IP or something. Like we don't really know what it is or anything. But
Even Bend, like people can
yeah,
say what they want to say about that game. Like Bend, the jump that Bend made to make Days Gone is huge.
it was massive, bro. Like I don't care what anybody says. Like, and that dude, I'm not even gonna get into this whole Metacritic thing, man, because I really personally don't agree with it. You know, because I feel like it just doesn't tell the full story of like an actual game. You know, but when you look at Days Gone, like it is like a massive leap in quality from like anything that they had done like over the last just period. And I'm just like, dude, this game impressive.
They went from Uncharted Golden Abyss on PlayStation VR to Days Gone, bro. Like, I don't know. To me, that's huge. It's a huge jump. They were making a digital collection card, a card game playing Uncharted Fight for Fortune on VR to that, and I think that's incredible. And again,
So can you
it's
guys-
down to PlayStation saying, "Fuck it, we believe in you guys. Make something. Let's see what you can do."
I think Pablo might have walked away, but
No, I'm
I
here. I'm here.
Sorry,
Oh, okay,
Pablo,
my
but
bad.
he needs to go, man. He needs to sell his shit. He's got somebody
Yeah.
arriving. But listen, it was good just to, sorry guys, we didn't give much notice about this show coming up, but we didn't want to leave you guys hanging. We wanted to just get our voice out back on the internet again, at least for this week. Next week we would be hopefully have a bit more time to stick around a bit longer. And but yeah, I'm glad we're back, bro. I'm very happy to be back.
Yo, me too.
So-
Same here, man. It's been a
Can
minute.
I say one more thing before we go?
Yeah, go
This
ahead.
nigga sounds like he dropped
God damn, this nigga
And we
having a
got
whole
one more thing.
having a whole monologue
No,
over
yo,
here. God damn.
No, we have so much to talk about, bro. But and look, man, it has to do with this whole Polyphony Digital thing, man. But if you look at this tweet that this dude posted, right? I know it's just a rumor, but it would be super interesting, man, if they actually did this shit. It was true. But they talked about the whole open world thing. But in the tweet, he also talks about them working on a JRPG, which is really interesting to me. Like, could you guys imagine that Polyphony Digital working on a JRPG? Like, that'd be
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would
super
be
interesting.
Yeah, that would be kind of like what Playground is doing with Fable.
Super
And
facts,
also,
bro.
it would just show you, like,
The only issue with it is that how do you pronounce it? Poly Digital. The only issue is that they're a studio that's pretty small. Have they been hiring at all for these projects?
You never know.
I think
they might have absorbed any people. PlayStation Studios in Japan was, it's sort of Japan Studios fucking broke up, so they may have secretly been absorbing people from there. Like, we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, probably, maybe.
I really think that they've been trying to build their studios out, man. And I don't think Polyphony Digital was any different. If they had a chance to build them up to start doing
I'm just saying, like, they've been notorious for being a very small developer, comparatively speaking. But that's all I'm saying. Hopefully they grew. I hope so.
I hope this is true, honestly, man. Awesome. I mean, right now this is just a rumor, but I hope it's true, man. Because I would love to see them kind of like venture and do something different than what they were doing with GT. Even if it is just this like open world thing, that'd be cool too, man. Because then you kind of get like a different perspective and a different flavor for like their franchise. So
cool.
Right.
On that note, next week, guys, we're back.
Next week, baby.
Yeah, man. We'll be tweeting more throughout the week, so we should have a concrete. Let you guys know that we're definitely there, but we will be back now. We should hopefully have not any more disruption in the shows. So, but thanks for dropping by, guys. I'll see you next week, man.
For sure, man. You guys take care, man. We'll see you motherfuckers next week. Let's do it.
All right, peace out, guys.
Hey, guys.
Later.
Peace.
If you